Okay, I am also going to talk a little bit about creators today. So I don't know how that happened, but I do feel like Sarah and Ryan and we colluded because you just said recipe for creator content, and that is literally the work that we did. So like the word recipe is in there, so you'll see. But yeah, I'm Heather O'Shea. I'm Chief Research Officer at Alter Agents. We're a tiny market research company, but we do a fair amount of work with iSquare. And I'm going in the right direction. I thought I'd start, and hopefully you all will entertain me by talking about how I got here. Why am I standing in this room today with you all? And just take a brief TLDR of my career, and how Alter Agents came to do more work with iSquare. So I started out my career. This is saying I'm younger than I am because I started my career in like 2006, but mostly doing work at media agencies, in media research teams. And at the time, particularly in my time at digital research was not a focus at all. Nobody cared about digital research, but I was a millennial and I spent all my time on the computer, on my laptop while I was watching TV, and I knew that something was happening here. So I volunteered to be the digital measurement guru and started writing POVs and attending IAB calls and MRC and all the ARF and all that stuff. And as a part of that, it really opened up a world of insights as well, which I loved because I was always really interested in consumer behavior and decision making. So as a part of doing digital measurement, I was also moonlighting and meeting with digital publishers on research that they were providing to help prove, and thought leadership to help prove that this was an emerging space. So for example, we did a study on the benefits of mobile advertising with AOL. We did an audience segmentation on digital personas with BuzzFeed, and we did a neuroscience study with Vivo to show that when people watch music videos, they're more emotionally engaged. And through all of that, it kind of led me to Twitter. And Twitter is where I had my first experience working with iSquare a little bit. And while I was at Twitter, I worked on the other side. So now I was working with media agencies, developing thought leadership to understand what is the role of social media. You know, social media was still somewhat emerging at that time as well, and where social media advertising, as a lot of the platforms were now monetizing their platforms with advertising. How do we prove that these audiences are more engaged, that even though it is native in the platform, the advertising experience, that this is powerful, that now we're offering, video advertising in Twitter. What is the brand lift there? And so we did a lot of in-context testing because at the time, and still to this day, these are all walled gardens. So cross-platform measurement wasn't really a capability. So how do we then say, what is the unique story that Twitter holds versus Facebook at the time? I don't even, maybe a little bit of Instagram and, other platforms. So that was a really fun time working at Twitter. But as I was working with more and more research partners and research vendors for a lot of the insights work that I was doing, it made me wonder what it was like on the vendor side. So I went to Kantar, and then while I was at Kantar, I worked even closer with iSquare, even more with iSquare, overseeing the brand lift and copy testing teams for North America. So with copy testing, we were, trying to figure out where does in-context testing with partner like iSquare fit, because it could be a little bit measurement, a little bit copy testing, and how does it fit with their products like Link and things like that. So that was also a period of, a focus on measurement, and I realized I need to get back to insights. So I went over to Snapchat, and I was overseeing advertising research and insights there, continuing to do work with iSquare, again, walled garden, same story. But while I was there, I stumbled upon a boutique market research company. And while I was there, I really wanted to work more with research companies that could be seen as a thought partner and could work closely with us on developing, bringing new stories to the market about different types of platforms and how people are consuming digital and social, and where does advertising fit into that. So that brought me to where I am today at Alter Agents. And Alter Agents we're a boutique market research company. We don't only do advertising research. So when I came in and started doing more advertising research, working more with digital publishers, but from the lens of us being an alternative, right? We're alter agents. So the way that we see ourselves is that we are responsible with all of the different groups that we work with. We're responsible for our employees and treating them humanely. We're responsible for our clients being, seen as an extension of their teams, and responsible to our respondents, making sure that the research that we're doing, that we're having high quality, research that is in market, that we're not taxing them, we're not using their information inaccurately or, in any way infringing on their privacy. So what we do at Alter Agents is all custom research. So this is like a dream for me as somebody who has straddled measurement and insights my entire career. Now I'm focusing purely on custom questions that people bring to us to answer their business problems, things that they're wondering about. Why are people, behaving in a certain way? What could the future of media look like? All of these things we get to uncover, and we see ourselves as multimodal experts. So most of the work we're doing is usually a journey. Like we go on a journey with our clients across, qual, quant, neuroscience, all of those things. And in a lot of cases now, we're working with I-Square in those. So I'll talk a little bit about that. And we produce a lot of thought partnership and thought leadership with our clients as well. So we're, not just delivering them a report, but here's something that you can go and take to market today. So I'll show some examples of that. So a couple of examples. What I think is the fun part about the way that we're working with I-Square is that we're taking the Alter Agents way of working and applying it to the advertising research and advertising measurement space. So all of the work that we do when we have clients come to us and we're suggesting doing in-context testing or SEAL, we're now testing out, which I don't have in this example, but we are doing some work with SEAL coming up, is that we're applying additional techniques to go even deeper. So the examples I'll take you through today is one with TikTok, where what we added to that is advanced analytics. So I'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing there. With Snapchat, actually with some of the team here today, we went beyond just testing the ads versus competitors, but actually looking at the system one. What is some of that unconscious thinking that's taking place, and how does that then connect to brand outcomes? And then also for streaming partner, I know we already mentioned it, but I don't think I was supposed to, so we'll just say blinded streaming partner here. This work is not yet public, but we are just completing it now. But for this one, we wanted to understand emotions more deeply. So we actually did a neuroscience component with it as well. So I'll just briefly talk through all three. So TikTok came to us about a little bit over a year ago, and what they were struggling with is very similar to what we were talking about with creators with the Nielsen presentation, is what is that perfect mix? So when, a brand comes to TikTok and they want to advertise, they can produce, they can do organic free content, right, out of their handle. They could sponsor advertising. They could do traditional advertising as long as it's in the right format, and they can partner with creators as well. So how much should they be investing across these different areas? What is the right mix depending on their KPI? Does it differ by vertical? They did not have precise answers to all of these questions. So this is where we thought about, okay, let's design a crazy experimental design and test all of these things. And we did. We looked at 84 different cells. So you could imagine it was a massive sample size for this. And we did this across 2 different countries in North America. So you can guess which 2. And we looked at a mix of, so we had several dimensions. We had 2 ads per vertical, 3 different verticals, two brands per vertical, 3 different verticals. Within each brand, we had tested creator-led content, brand-led advertising content, and organic content. So we were able to work with iSquare to specify if it has the sponsor tag, if it looks like it is advertising content versus just organic brand content. And then we also looked at, I think we looked either 5 or 10, I don't remember, different types of creative styles. So within TikTok, if you're familiar, you can create all different types of content that is tagged and recognized. So it could be a tutorial, a review, get ready with me, behind the scenes. So we tested all of these different things and tagged the creative based on that. So amassing all of these different pieces of content was a whole project within itself. But once we had all of those ready, we set this up in an experimental design format. We worked with iSquare to see, okay, what is the bounds of which we can make this in context experience as real to life as possible. So we gave people, I think it was either 3 minutes or 5 minutes of going through TikTok in an iSquare feed, and they were shown up to 3 pieces of content that we worked with iSquare to inject. So within those 3 pieces of content, it was across these multiple, up to 6 brands that we were testing. And then after that, they were taken to a survey. So they were asked about all the brands, even the ones they weren't exposed to. So they get counted as a control for the brands they weren't exposed to. And they were asked brand lift style questions. And then we had an add to cart exercise. So we're combining brand lift data, shopping data, as well as engagement, behavioral data, as you know, we collect from iSquare. It really gives us a full funnel impact. And then the add-on, what we did that was unique was we took all of these data and we treated it like a DCM. So all of the different components, and we built a simulator. So we gave that simulator back to TikTok so that they could take hypothetical brands and categories that weren't tested and combinations that weren't tested and predict what the outcome would be across KPIs and help create ideal strategies for brands. And they actually did talk about this like it was a recipe. So that was funny that Sarah said that. So these are examples of some of the outcomes and outputs that we presented or that TikTok and us worked on together. So our team built this deck. But ultimately, what we did was in the main part of the survey, we asked a number of questions too to understand people's habits and passions and what they're thinking about. And what we did find is that the majority of TikTok users do want a variety of content. So that aligned really well with what we saw from when we did the experimental design with iSquare, in that for each goal, so we presented these recipe cards for each goal, and we did see that a variety of content was important for almost every combination here. But there were some pieces of content that were more preferred. So for example, for full funnel, you really need to have something that's brand led, which was surprising, but you should experiment with creator led. So this is kind of based on the statistical significance. And then we were able to provide these scorecards for each of the categories as well. So just one example. With Snapchat, we had the Snap team come to us, and they have done an amazing body of research, not speaking, from the time that I was there, but I'm also just saying they've done this amazing body of research and have found that when people are using Snapchat, they're connecting with their real friends, their close connections, and they knew from other work, but they also theorized that this is leading to a different mindset, a different type of environment. So how do they then prove that out, that there is a benefit to advertisers on the platform? So we wanted to make that connection for them beyond just doing ad testing. So what we did was, in this case, we started with ethnographies because we wanted to get to the language. What are the types of emotions that we want to confirm or identify for Snap and also for other social media. Like, what is unique about that close connection, that the real friend that leads to the real influence. So we have a mobile ethnography platform that we work in. We did that. We were able to confirm and learn uncover new things. Through that, we built out our in-context testing, but we started with an IAT, so implicit association test, to get to what are those split-second associations that people are making between different social platforms that they are users of and different emotions. And we did see that there was actually quite a difference depending on the platform. From that, we tested the same ads across these different platforms, again, quasi-experimental design, and we were able to look at both brand outcomes, and for this one, we also did look at Amazon shopping, so were people able to shop. And some learnings. So what we did see is that for Snapchat specific to their competitors, we did see that these more connected, happy, fun, like these were coming up well and above their competitors. It's a place to connect with friends. It's playful. And as a result, we did see this relationship and almost direct here between purchase intent brand lift, which we learned from the I-Square in context testing, and feeling happy while using the app. So there's clearly a connection here and a halo that we were able to uncover through this combination of System 1 insights and brand lift through I-Square. Okay, last one I'll just quickly talk through because we don't have the results publicly available. But we had a streaming partner come to us, and the streaming partner just launched ads not too long ago on their platform. So they were not ad supported previously. And they knew from some work that they've done that people have a very positive experience on the app. And they wanted to see, okay, does that lead to positive emotions? And what does that lead in terms of ad response? But for them, they didn't quite know yet what it meant to be a positive experience. They just haven't done enough work in that area. They knew attention was high when people were watching. That's all they knew. So we started with 5-day video diaries. In this case, we wanted to immerse people in the topic, get people thinking about their streaming habits, and we gave them certain activities to record, to come back to, and we really got deep and rich learnings over the days. What we uncovered is that people have, and it makes sense, like I have these rituals too, but people have deep rituals associated with streaming partners, and this one streaming partner in particular, that's a big part of it. FOMO is a big part of it. There is a certain expectation. You want to keep up with what's happening in the culture. And also there is a sense of mood matching. If you're feeling nostalgic, you want to watch something that is going to tap into that. If you're feeling sad, you kind of want to like wallow in it a little bit. And if you want to be uplifted, you're seeking that too. There's some escapism as well, but we were seeing all of that. They're like, okay, great. Now we're going to actually do neuroscience and see how emotion aligns with that. So we have an approach that we do called immersion. It's very scalable in that we are tracking heart rate variability through a smartwatch. And that is linked, what it's capturing is the release of oxytocin into the blood. So I'll just go through skip all the chemical reactions, but we can talk after that. What oxytocin is a marker of whatever stimuli that you're being exposed to is interesting to you and something you're going to encode into your memory and come back to later. And immersion's been around for 25 years, and the work that they've done both in the academic space and practical space has, peer-reviewed research has shown a link between increases in immersion score and brand purchase, searching for the brand, watching TV shows that were predicted. So very predictive, 80% plus predictability in this place. So what we did was we had people watch the streaming platform on the ad tier. We had them connect on their watch. We moderated it and had them do this for an hour, but watch as they normally would at home. And we were able to tag all of the different events that were happening and align that. So we're capturing second by second data And so we're having thousands, upon thousands of data points to analyze and get really in depth at different ad types, different content types, and what is the relationship here. And then we also have norms because immersion's been around for 25 years. So we have advertising norms and entertainment norms to compare to. So we found out, okay, amazing rituals and reasons why people love the platform. Emotions are high, above norms. Okay, and ads perform well from an emotion standpoint, but how does it align with in-context ad testing? So that's when we brought in iSquare and we tested. And oh yeah, I don't have the results to show. Sorry, I forgot about that. But anyway, you'll have to find out. You'll see they're going to release it. You'll probably see it if you go to Cannes. So
Thank you
ask your
so
company to
much.
take